5-minute face check with me, your host, Mark Zombie. I am joined by the none other than Hellstorm from One More Fight, number 1 seed out of Division E in NGS. How you doing, Hellstorm?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, now we got to start with the history behind your team. How long have you guys known each other? Been friends, playing HOTS? Um,
Most of my team, I'm gonna call it the core, if I may call it like that, without offending anyone, is a group of friends that used to play together since the beta, and eventually we decided we wanted to make a team. It's a complex story I've told in a few interviews yet, but decided to make a team, and we recruited. Other friends now. So
nice.
we've been playing in NGS for, I believe that's 3 seasons now.
Okay. And is this have you guys made it to playoffs or grand finals before, or is it your first time?
Uh, so how it went is the first time we've played competitively, we've lost every single match. Then we've won half the match. Then we made it to the finals, but lost straight away, and now we're making it to the finals. So
All right, that's exciting.
it's being not an uphill battle, but a climb.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You know, you said you started off with some friends in beta, and I think that's like the most important thing is, playing with people you get along with and figuring out how to accept the loss and learn from it. So it's cool to see you guys make it all the way and, kind of pretty dominant in your division. So what role do you hold for the team?
My role when I play, well, I'm mostly mage or range assassin.
Ooh.
That being said, I'm the one on my team who flexes the most, and since, well, we don't always have the same players who do the exact same roles, I've been known to play a bit of offlane too, and some tank and
Okay.
in some
Makes it
rare occasions.
maybe a little tricky to draft against you guys being so flexible like that.
Hopefully.
All right, so how would you say how has your team grown throughout this season? You mentioned you do have previous experience in NGS. Sometimes you said you lost every competitive game, but this season specifically, how have you guys developed and grown?
Well, this season has been pretty well because we've won every match except against Cerebral Gaming, but well, that's another story. And once against We the Pepegas, where we got defeated. So in general, well, when you're on a win streak, it's very good for morale. But
Yeah.
I did feel it was less effective at making us grow or learn from our mistakes or get better because uh, because we didn't lose, so we didn't
Right.
learn from those. But at the same time, we've played against both teams twice, and we tried to remember what went good or bad in the first matchup every time to try and make it a little bit better,
Right.
which I believe we did or succeeded. I mean, every team got better. I find that when we've played against everyone the second time, they felt better than the first time we played against them. So
Yeah.
it's good job for everyone. But so were we trying to rewatch our old replays, trying to learn from it and maximize our macro, which has always been our forte, I'm going to say, compared to the other team of the same league.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5-minute face check with me, your host, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series 5-minute face check with me, your host, Mark Zombie. I am joined today by Andrade of the YCMYCAST3 Revenge of Yavapai. What is up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. I feel honored being able to talk to both of the representatives from the Div E Grand Finals. You guys made it all the way.
Yeah, we did. It's been quite the season.
Yeah. So no, I know a lot of people probably recognize the name, and we can tell this ain't your first rodeo here in the NGS. But what's the special history? How your team came together? How long you guys been friends? Been playing HOTS? What's the background?
So CB9 and I have been playing together since season 4.
Okay.
And then Megu Milk came on in season 5. And then Aura Luna, I played with her in season 3, and then we went separate ways, and then she came back for another random season, and then she's back again. So off and on. And then Blue Space Hats started as a sub last year and moved to a full roster. So last season. So we've the core has been together for a really, really long time. And so we've been just playing ever since we started together.
Nice. Yeah, and I just noticed the HGC hat. That's so dope. Making me tear up a little bit.
I know.
So what role do you hold on the team here?
As you can tell from the attire, I am our team's tank.
Okay.
And I am the like final say shot caller, like if that makes sense. Like we take input from other people, or for other people will make calls and stuff. And unless there's something other pressing that I think we should do, then we just do it. But otherwise, if there's dissension, then it's on me to just make the decision.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to have like those moments of, you know, being indecisive, because then like any of those, you know, seconds you waste can just turn a good call bad, or, you know, turn the whole game.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So how did your team kind of grow throughout this season? Were you always did you come out strong? Any, you know, recent developments or strategies that you've built up, or how's the season been going for you?
So our season started off real rough, like real rough. We started, I think, 2-8 in maps to begin the season. 2 of them were overturned because of team smurfing. But even without that, we started 1-6. But then we just sort of turned it around and we won like 17 maps straight or something.
Okay.
And we sort of, something just sort of clicked, and we've been pretty comfortable just with our silly draft.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of going into, you know, playoffs here, you guys are up against one more fights. What do you guys think of your opponents? You've obviously, you know, played against them in the regular season, but how do you you know, any surprises in store, or what do you how do you prepare for this match? Anything special?
So yeah, they beat us overall 4-1 map scores during the regular season. We played them at the very, very beginning. So I think we're a very different team now. I think the series is going to be much different. But in terms of preparing, we've been practicing a bunch of different random strats. We like to play our standard comps at best would be considered off meta.
Ooh.
And then the tricks we have up our sleeves are absolutely just ridiculous nonsense. So we've been doing that. We definitely have some surprises in store, and one more fight looks pretty good. So I'm excited to see how we can square up against them or match up against them this time.
Yeah, it should be a pretty exciting series. And now I have to ask, and I'm sure you're just been waiting for this, but the team name. What's and then also like the icon. What is the deal? Or I got to be in on this inside joke. I need to be in this.
Yeah. So okay. So we've gone through a couple iterations of our team. First, when we first came in, we were Banzo Brothers because it was the captain was someone else. And then we changed it to Sack of Bricks because we just thought that was funny.
Okay. I'm almost laughing at that, yeah.
But then for the next season, we were like, you know what? Let's just make our name something that's absurd for casters to say. And so we looked to see if there was a character limit, and we just tried to make our name as close to the length of the character limit as possible.
Okay.
And like just tossing around ideas, it ended up becoming Yavapai County Municipal Youth Chess Club and Swim Team. And then one of our guys just found this image on the internet, and we were like, honestly, this is perfect. I guess this is what we're doing. And then last season they changed the character limit, they shrunk it down, and then this year they shrunk it down again. So while for NGS reasons, this is our name, the YCMYCAST3, but in reality it's Yavapai County Municipal Youth Chess Club and Swim Team, Episode 3, Revenge of Yavapai.
Okay, got it. So yeah, you're just always pushing those limits next season, just getting in the HTML, checking that character limit, trying to max that out.
Exactly.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Best of luck tonight. And yeah, thank you for joining the 5-minute face check, and we'll see you next time.
All right, man. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Nexus Gaming Series, here on the Nexus Gaming Series channel, here at NGS. I am Tetcher. I need to move Jinxie over to the side. I appear to be just over her a little bit here. But hello, we are here casting a Division Final. This is Division E, otherwise known as the Epic Division amongst the players, as we heard earlier. I am Tetcher. As you can see over here is Jinxeekatt, and we're going to be casting the Grand Finals, which are a best of 5.
I am so excited. It's finally final season. Finally finals. A lot of fun. Both these teams have worked so hard to get here, and yeah, I'm really excited to get into it.
As am I. But first, let's talk about what's been happening here. Let's start off with the bracket to find out, like you said, how the teams got here. So we have our grand finals. One more fight to beat out the baddest of dudes in a best of 5 in a 3-2, a tough fight to make their way through to the final. Remember, they are number 1 seed. Whereas, on the other side, YCMYCAST3 Revenge of Yavapai, they were able to take the 3-0 versus We the Papagas. This does mean they're going to be coming in with a little bit more momentum, but they are, however, coming in from the lower seed, Jinxie.
We're going to have to see. I mean, I have always been really impressed by NGS and the fact that I say this probably all of my streams way too much. You know, you get like seed 1 versus 7, you're like, this is going to be a total stomp. And then it's really, really close. And you'll get games where it's like 3 versus 4. And, you know, it's just completely one-sided. So as much as the seeding shows, you know, how hard these teams have been working, the amazing stuff they've been doing, it's really anybody's game, I feel, this evening.
And let's go check out the maps to take you exactly how we got here. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are going to be starting on Infernal Shrines. And this is due to the fact that Revenge of Yavapai, they banned out Braxis Holdout and Dragonshire. They had the first map bans and the map pick, I believe, as you can see here, which means one more fighter getting first pick in the draft, as they banned out Towers of Doom, which, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed about, but they also banned out Volskaya, which I'm less disappointed about.
I mean, you know, sometimes you just gotta get it out of there. Like, Towers of Doom, I know, is incredibly fun for us to cast. But from a player's perspective, I can understand why it's really, really stressful. Like, I've been one of those teams who have been at 40 points and, like, the enemy has 1, and we're like, oh, this is easy. We got this. And then we ended up losing that game because as long as you've got 1 core point and a chair, you can always bring it back.
Are you
If you're
saying that
standing, it's a
players?
little bit difficult.
Are you saying players with standing desks are inferior players? Is that what you're
No,
inferring
I'm
today?
not inferring that at all. I mean, I don't know if you saw Wayne's tweet earlier. He's got heroes hooked up to a treadmill, so maybe he's just galaxy brains like light years ahead of us. But at least from my side, if you've got one core point and a chair, then anything can happen on Towers of Doom. And because of such, we're on such an important map or an important game series, I can understand, why they'd want to get out of there.
Speaking of it, as a good example of that, for those who haven't seen it, Baha, one of the great NGS casters here, has a YouTube channel where he uploads a lot of the VODC casts and also some of his ranked games, which we played with him when we came back from a 2 to 14 deficit on Towers of Doom, and it was amazing. I'd recommend go watching that. It's really good.
It's a different Jinxeekatt in that video. It's not me.
It's definitely you, because we won that game. Spoilers. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time, as we are going to be heading into the draft once Heroes decides to wake up. We're going to be heading into the draft of Infernal Shrines to begin off our broadcast for today. One more fight on the left, RevengeOfYavapai on the right. And once again, one more fight. We're going to be taking the first pick and first ban.
Alrighty, Infernal Shrine. So what can we expect to see here? I wonder if they'll go for the tank lock like most divisions have been doing. We could see it's going to be Deathwing banned away first. Makes sense. He has a lot of point control with his abilities. Maybe an EDC, Johanna, Anna. Lots of really solid bans right now. Cassia, another very strong one.
Cassie is a fantastic one and is also very high in the bans at the moment because we haven't seen a patch in quite a while for heroes, and therefore we haven't seen any nerfs to the top heroes. You're going to see the ETC banned out though. You already mentioned that tank choke. ETC and Johanna especially are explosive in how strong they are right now and how much they control the meta, so a very sensible ban. You mentioned these high priority heroes. We're also going to see, as you again already mentioned, a lot of wave clear, a lot of big AoE abilities because of this map. And this is where, at this level of play, you begin to see those very out of the ordinary heroes with some big AoE mages that aren't Kael'thas or Jaina, for example. So there's a couple options here, as we see Zul taken out, potential tank or offlane option.
Maybe we'll see the Cassia here, unless one more fight is maybe looking to pick that up. I don't know why it would make sense that Yavapai would ban Cassia if they want to. Okay, it's going to be Vala, so my point is moot regardless. Vala, great hero, insane solo DPS if that's the route they wanted to go with. Maybe like an Uther tank if they're feeling kind of spicy. And, I just gotta say, like, y'all in chat really quickly, you're gonna make me cry about my hair. Thank you. You're too kind.
Absolutely gorgeous. Could not agree more. As we
Thank
do
you.
see, as we called out, we see the Kael'thas, the higher priority on mages for winning the objective, that sieging potential. Always wonderful here. Also, I kind of liked the Valaban, even though it didn't go the way I expected. Seeing that Valaban was actually kind of cool because they left open Cassia, but they also left open Johanna and Rhaegar, meaning if they'd wanted to go that route, if one of those had been picked away, they would have got the other one. So they left at least 2 high priority heroes open to guarantee at least someone.
There are still a lot of very, very strong heroes available. Once again, we could still see that Cassia. The Alex Straza I really like. We're going to see the Rhaegar Sylvanas picked up for the side of one more fight. And that's already just a really, really nasty combo. Bloodlust with the Sylv. Insane amounts of damage, especially once she gets 3 stacks of that Banshee's Curse. Oof.
Yeah, there's a fair point. That could be good, although the higher priority, of course, Bloodlust Kael'thas. The sheer power of those auto... No, I mean, to be fair, if he took the empowered autos at level 13, there is... Level 7, sorry, there is
talent.
The murky ban. This feels like a respect ban, and I'm really happy we see that, because it makes me see that there is some potential for Wilden in these games. So right now, looking at the draft, we already see the damage output from one more fight. The turnaround from RevengeOfYavapai has given them some flexibility in what they pick. They do have to be careful, though, because obviously Alex Straza's main healing output is the Circle of Healing, which is just an aim here target for Kael'thas.
yeah, they'll have to put it out of sight if they don't want to get targeted there. However, they will have the Dragon Queen to fight on that point. So maybe in the long run. What?
I just realized, Anduin bad with Alexstrasza already picked? Is there like a damage Alexstrasza? Oh, they know about apparently double support. Double support, apparently a thing. Revenge of Yavapai know to run. And one more fight, don't want to deal with it. So this is actual scouting. I thought this was a misplay. I'm being bamboozled to maximum degree here. But there is a small outcropping of Carry Stukov that we saw right at the beginning of 2020. Which is actually reasonably viable. His damage output and sheer pressure can be insane. So it's cool to see that being picked up as a second support because he does actually fall into that role. We're going to see the final pickups for one more fight. D.Va and Nubarak. The D.Va is interesting against Stukov.
I can understand your confusion. I don't think you've cast too many Division E games, but I've cast at least one. Okay, I think we cast that one together, maybe. But I've cast a Division E, and I'm still blown away. Is this going to be a hyper damage Zeratul? Okay, I was going to say, if this isn't a damage dealer, then there will be no assassins on the side of Revenge of Yavapai.
This is amazing.
Goodness gracious, looking at these drafts. I mean, I didn't expect, like, all the stops have come out in game number 1, Tetcher. Like no hiding strategies behind the meta slave. Let's pick ETC and Rhaegar and Cassia. But no, like solo damage Zeratul. Let's go, and it's insane.
This is absolutely spectacular. I love these drafts, especially Yavapai's, because they've got so much flexibility there. As I already mentioned, there is that Carry Stukov build, which starts off with the Spine Launcher, making him a bit more ranged, which would also make him one of their only 2 ranged heroes in the game, which would be funny. Alexstrasza has a Hyper Carry build if you get to later levels. Zeratul, once he does get to level 16, and especially level 20, can actually carry a team on his own, and they have the setup for that with Johanna, Leoric, and Stukov, and they have the counters to D.Va and Rhaegar with that Stukov. This is actually a really weird but potentially viable draft from Yavapai. But on the other side, it's a little more standard. They have Hard Engage, they have Siege. It's just a lot more standard here.
I mean, anything can happen in the grand finals, and a lot of people would look at this and say, like, come on. But like, as you're saying, like, you listing off all those viable points, this is just, it's galaxy brain play. Like, in my opinion, they've got 2 ways to deal with the bloodlust. They can flailing swipe away, or they can throw them in the void prison and run away, or use the void prison to engage with a lurking arm, entomb follow up, just like something absolutely insane. Build your own. Buried alive. But as the game begins, I am very, very excited to get in.
Bob, can we get buried alive? We have buried alive at home. Buried alive at home in Tomb Lurking Arm. Alright. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Infernal Shrines. And let's get into this. As on the left-hand side, it is going to be one more fight. D.Va's health bar is broken, but okay. We have Echo on the Anubarak. We have Rhaegar, played by... Oh, that's a name and a half. That is going to be Mr. Line on the Rhaegar, Lord Gayak on the Kael'thas. We have Newton Rocks, yes he does, on the Sylvanas, and Hellstorm on the D.Va. And Jinxie, who's on the right?
Over on the right-hand side, we got Mega Milk on that Leoric, who is being harassed in the top lane. Team's coming up with Blue Space Hat, which is a fantastic name, on the Zeratul. Shank B9 on the Alex. Andrade on the Johanna, Luna on the Stukov. They're all moving around so fast.
Yeah,
I think that's everybody. This is Revenge of Yavapai.
You did absolutely get everyone.
Gosh, what is their full name? It's
it is YCMYCAST3 Revenge of Yavapai.
It's something youth chess club and swim team.
Oh, to stand for something?
Yes. They said the name in the chat earlier, and I can never remember it.
Wow, that is that is a crazy setup here. Alrighty. Enough talking about the team names for the moment. We're just going to call him Yavapai because this is a very long name, and I asked them earlier and they agreed. So, let's talk about the talents. We're going to be starting off with the Cleave build Zeratul. This can still turn into a single target burst Zeratul later on. Both these builds still very viable, still very effective. Sylv, percentage damage coming in here to try and deal with the double frontline plus supports. Really wants to try and burn through those. Doesn't want to go for the dagger build because obviously it could just be reset here. But, more importantly, we don't see Spine Launcher for Stukov, so it's not the Hypercarry Stukov, but it is the Hypercarry Alexstrasza with Flames of Fury coming out, and she's already up to 8 stacks.
Really insane play by her, just able to poke off of these heavy melee heroes here on Echo and Miss Tiana. Will she go for the full build? Is yet to pick her level 4 here. Is it the fabled off-lane Alexstrasza after she gets her quest done? I mean, there's the second flame buffet, as everyone calls it, talent.
It is very hard to go for this level 1 talent without picking the level 4. Due to the fact they really do just synergize so well together, dude. It's insane. So seeing that picked up makes me feel really good about this. Also, Hellstorm making the most of range advantage just to bully Mega Milk up here feels bad as mercenaries are being picked up by both teams.
We're going to go ahead and start with those bruiser camps first. Interesting. It could be because the camp is in the middle lane, so they don't have time to... Oh, they already got the other camps. That's why they're doing the bruiser camps. I'm a fool. Gonna go ahead and get that objective started right now. And one more fight already. Got a pretty solid lead, but here comes Yavapai. They've got that Alex. They can look to contest with Dragon Queen here on this point.
Andrade moving in, 4-man condemn, and that is big damage onto D.Va, who did get caught in the silence and was unable to drop her mech, and Andrade, being Johanna, is gonna get out of this. Nicely done. But like you said, Dragon Queen has been popped, so even so, they still move to try and re-engage the one more fight, but they're zoned off till that Dragon Queen expires, which it now has. They can still try and move on because they do still have, right now, the minion advantage.
They're going to go ahead and look to see maybe they can't grab those last 10 minutes, like you said, Tetcher, but Andrade just giving them the business. And we do have that subdue, so that's an 80% slow if you hit more than 2 people. D.Va coming in. They don't have any bombs available right now. Defense Matrix coming out. They're trying really hard to get this shrine, and it can go either way. Newton Rock's having to back out. This is the most aggressive Johanna I have ever seen.
Echo is low, slowed by Shank there with the fantastic use of that Dragon Breath, but it's not enough for the kill. The objective snuck away by one more fight right at the end there of a great move in by, I think, Newton Rocks to get the final shots from that. I mean, the first Punisher goes over to one more fight despite the incredible zoning and the single kill. Going over to Revenge of Yavapai with now both teams finally hitting level 7.
I can't believe that one more fight pulled that off. Like, I thought for sure their goose was cooked right there. I was like, they're going to lose the Punisher, they're going to lose their tank, they're not even level 7, and they pulled off a really amazing feat on that first Punisher. And now they're going to go ahead, take that first front wall. First Punisher doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Fort is going to be very low, and those minions are just chunking away at it. We could see a 5-minute fort here as Hellstorm looks to go in.
Try and back up, but Alex hit it with the first flame buffet, which means the second one lands. There's the slow, and there's the finishing shot. And Alex, who finished during that last objective phase, is now starting to dish out the damage. Let's actually have a look at the damage charts at these early stages of the game. Right now, Alexstrasza is second on her team behind Leoric. Okay. I was expecting Zeratul there, but percentage damage pretty good as it turns out.
Yeah, Leoric does a lot of damage too, especially when you consider things like the Anubarak and the D.Va, who don't really have a way. They've got one way in or one way out, but not both. So if you get stuck by Leoric, you're kind of just in there until he's finished with that Drain Hope. We are going to see an aggressive play come out here from Revenge of Yavapai as they take that siege camp, then head over to their own siege camp with Leoric making sure nobody's going to sneak up on them.
While they're doing this, though, they are taking the time to steal every mercenary camp, but they're missing all this XP down in bot lane because that's just being killed off by the Ford. Finally, someone will be sent down in the form of Zeratul. D.Va, who just ignores the enemy minion wave, also let a load of her minions die onto the enemy minion wave, meaning that Mega Milk missed a load of XP up here as well. And this is good news for one more fight because it means they are catching up a little bit closer to that level 10 because they were falling behind and did not have their heroic available. That fort's looking a little sweaty right now as minions push in, but here comes the revenge attempt on Lord Gaik.
Lord Gaik is doing his best to escape, but he is going to go down. Does not have that mana addict completed yet, sitting at only about 10 globes. And none of the forts go down. I have to say, this game, there is one thing on the mind of these teams, and that is to fight. Like who cares about the experience? Who cares about the forts? Like they can't push if they're dead, Forehead.
Assassin Alex is now global, due to the fact that she now has Cleansing Flame. Also, Zeratul, by the way, didn't go Wormhole or the Singularity Spike talent. He's Warp Skirmisher, giving him 2 charges of Vorpal Blade, which is a talent that I have seen picked 0 times outside of the one time Wretch decided to meme on some fools with full reset build, using, in fact, this Might of the Nerazim. But this is going to allow Blue Space Hat to potentially pull off some insane plays at level 16 with double chase potential to ensure that no one is able to get away as both teams have level 10.
Go ahead and look for this second objective. Killfoss finally back in the fight. Fantastic lurking arm to get 4 members of one more fight right there. Johanna coming in, and just the AoE from one more fight, or excuse me, RevengeOfYavapai is insane. Hellstorm coming in. They have that bomb available. They do drop it there. Mega Milk very low. Sylvanas jumping in on him. Do we see the kill? Meanwhile, Johanna does go down trying to defend her team. Fantastic Wailing Arrow come out. Mega Milk in big trouble. The big shot comes out, but the Drain Hope prevents them from taking too much damage. They're going to cuddle up onto that Alex heal, and they might just have to see another Punisher Tetcher.
That was a really nice engage. That is exactly what D.Va should be used for outside of wombo combos. Because, yes, they hit no one with that bomb, but what they did is split both frontliners so far away from everyone else that a noob was literally able to walk at Alexstrasza with no counter and just drop the cocoon on her, which meant that Johanna had no support and they were able to pick up that kill. Beautifully executed, and they're now looking for more because this fort, already disabled by Sylv, they're just trying to dive forward, helping the Punisher, but Dragon Queen is popped. They are trying to counter push.
Andrade is back. Lord Gaik not long for this world. He does go down. Sylvanas trying to escape, and Alex just dissing out the huge damage right here. Drops in front of the team, tries to use the Wing Buffet to try and push somebody back, unable to do so, and now they're looking to push themselves. A little bit of Dragon Queen left. Echo once again sneaking out with just an inkling of health. Meanwhile, the Punisher is going to jump back onto that front wall. It does take out the keep wall. That's a pretty good bit of XP for one more fight, wouldn't you say?
That's a great bit of XP. Taking out those towers, taking out the forts, not losing any members. That was fine. Very nicely done here. Also, the 0 chill of this Alexstrasza is insane. Shank is nothing. When he tried to chase everyone down up here, the reason he ran up to the gate and took tower shots is he was trying to get the auto attack to get the splash damage through the tower and pick up the kill. Absolutely beautiful. Here comes the lurking arm to prevent the kill onto Mega Milk. Nicely done. Andrade retreats through as well. But right now, one more fight. Have a little bit more control. They haven't lost a fort yet, whereas RevengeOfYavapai fighting from the back foot, but they do still have an experience lead.
Shankby, like you said, I mean, I'm looking at the damage right now, and they've got more damage than Zeratul right now. Like, just in there. Those Alexstrasza ready to fight, running up to the front line. And it looks like we might see another fight break out here. Phoenix is dropped, as is the lurking honor. Andrade taking a ton of damage. Bloodlust comes out, as does Blessed Shield right there. Wailing Arrow is also popped. Everybody pressing their ults, but nobody going down quite yet. D.Va Beck is strong. Mistantine has to run away. Andrade so very low, gets hit by the Living Bomb. Do they have the Iron Skin available? They do. There is no fort here, though, so the teams are going to be very careful. Filling Swipes does come out, or Luna by themselves. D.Va jumping in, trying to lower the damage of the fleeing team. Echo being drained by Mega Milk. Sylvanas tries to drop that Shadow Dagger do a little bit of extra damage, and looks like maybe Andrade is gonna escape. And now out comes the Entomb. Hellstorm doing their very best to get away from the damage, but Johanna and Diva Mech are going to go down. Alexstrasza in the cocoon. They're trying to get her out. They pop the Dragon Queen, but it's not gonna get a ton of value. And I can't believe only one person died in that fight, Tetcher.
It did end up being Andrade on that Johanna. The retreat was so good, so well executed. The perfect flaming swipe from Aura Luna. We had incredible slows from Shank using that level 4 talent, the heat exhaustion, keeping everyone slow, was hitting multiple members. This was beautifully executed, but the turnaround wasn't as well executed as they expected. They have a lot of damage, but all of their damage outside of Zeratul is very conducive to long period fights, which means they don't have the damage output to really blow up someone like Diva when she's in her mech, putting them in a risky position to take those hard engages. This is the fight they're going to have a better situation in, where they are in a defensive position and they can try and take this fight defensively. And they, in fact, back up. The second they're out of their position where they have the advantage, they let it go.
Oh my goodness. Blessed Shield was used once again there, so it won't be up for another 30 seconds after this objective is going to be started. So potentially an engage opportunity for one more fight. But I just want to talk about that fight. Like, Alexstrasza just underneath the fort, no gate, 5 members trying to dive her, and they were like, come at me. Like you want to go? I'll show you how a dragon goes.
Alexstrasza trying to show off the damage output here. Really good. Anub gets the knock up onto Aura Luna. Flailing has to be burnt. Too risky to take that fight. But here's level 16 for both teams as they begin to make their way forward. Lord Gaiak takes a lot of damage, but Blue Spacer has the double Vorpal Blade with the chase. Here comes the nuke. Not going to hit anyone, though. Good retreat from Blue Spacer as they free Aura Luna.
Everyone's going in. Nice Wailing Arrow coming out, connecting onto 2 members. Andrade very low. However, Anubrak can't get onto the back of Alexstrasza. That cocoon was already burned, so the Dragon Queen is going to live. Andrade just condemning for their life. Flame Buffet coming, or Wing Buffet, excuse me, coming out to keep the team nice and healthy. Dragon Queen finally dropped. Andrade going down once again. The fight was good, but not good enough as we now see a 4v5 team trying to come in. And now Blue Space Hat is in some serious trouble. Echo getting a 3-man bed of barbs there.
Bloodlust was used. I'm not entirely sure why. I think they were thinking about chasing. The call was made, but the follow-up did not come. As such, they're going to move back in. Person down, but they still think they can steal this 28-27. It is possible. Nagumil coming in from the side. Aura Luna, flaying swipe has to be burned. And they've run out of ways to move in here. Without Zeratul, they have to back this up. They have to be careful now. We have Fury of the Sunwell for zoning. That's going to keep them away here as RevengeOfYavapai concede their 3rd Immortal. It's one more fight to continue their pressure. There's one talent I want to call out here, and I can understand the logic behind it, but it is Universal Carrier. Now, Universal Carrier is solid in very certain situations, like when you're going to be spending a lot of time in your Lurking Arm, but it's Growing Infestation, meaning it only lasts 4 seconds maximum, and they needed that burst healing, which Alexstrasza doesn't offer without a wind-up, so they are struggling a little bit without that extra healing that you get from the standard healing pustule.
Yavapai is really struggling here in a couple of different fields. We do see that Sylvanas Black Arrows coming out, allowing John to basically take this keep for free with the Diva Bomb that may just secure it. Double disable there. Leoric does go down, trying to prevent the team from pushing in, but it looks like that keep is not going to be long for this world. And as the keep is pushed and the Punisher with 25% health looks for the core, 2 members are going to be hit here on the side of Yavapai. However, Johanna doing her best to zone away. Bloodlust comes out, but the team's not sure if they want to engage or disengage. They throw the Phoenix out, but not a whole lot of value from that ultimate there. The core is still nice and healthy, hasn't even lost the shield. That could potentially change. Oh, that catapult. No. They saved the shield, which will regenerate. And one thing I wanted to talk about before we got a little bit of a, fight breaking out there is Yavapai is really struggling. They have a really solid team fight, but they don't have really any kind of siege damage. Dukov and Alexstrasza don't provide a lot of structure damage, and so even though we see them taking these amazing fights and that the kills are evened up 4-4, 2 keeps, and all the forts have been lost for Yavapai, where none of the forts really have been tickled on the side of one more fight.
Yeah, this seems to be the name of the game so far. RevengeOfYavapai have a composition that works on paper, but they seem to be soaking beautifully. Their macro is on point, but they lack the kill potential. They lack the ability to actually end a fight and kill more than one person yet. Level 20 is going to be their key. The extra flame buffet applications on auto attacks from Alexstrasza is where they're going to be able to turn this game in their favor. But the fact they have to wait that long is a big deal. They do have some saving grace now. I called it before the game started, though. They now have Void Slash, that 3-second cooldown reduction per hero hit with that Zeratul cleave. That could be their tool to get back into this damage-wise and keep them in these games.
Yeah, Zeratul with that full cleave build is going to do a lot of damage, especially once level 20 hits, and they'll be able to stay in the fight for longer, jump on those squishy backliners. And just like you said, hopefully the Alex damage coming out. Japana could maybe pick up the indestructible there so she doesn't die so much in the fight if she does get split up. A lot of ways for Yavapai to still come back in this. They really only need one Punisher, because if they can get like a 20-minute Punisher, those things are insane. The forts will go down like paper. Maybe they can grab a keep. We'll have to see, as the third and final keep has been being targeted by these black arrows.
They have level 20, so they're trying to keep on the pressure. Ominous Rave coming out, continuous delay and harassment. But we have Flamethrower now. We have Gladiator's Watch Out. We have Mechafall, going to keep Diva even safer. So this keep is just going to keep getting sieged. There's nothing they can do about it. They don't have their own level 20 yet. They are going to lose this keep. They are now defending catapults in every single lane. The dragon, the Cleansing Flame comes out. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose was. They're not going to be able to get this here. It zones them away a little bit, does some damage. They were trying to catch someone, but everyone, the discipline for one more fight, too good. They retreated and prevented themselves from losing anything.
It's going to be a big cooldown not to have it, a crucial Punisher, because Yavapai, you've got a naked core. This Punisher, which they aren't even in position for, is going to do some real damage. Now, I don't want to be the downer who's saying, like, non-meta teams don't work, but between you and me, Johanna Zeratul, Alexstrasza, Shukov, Leo is not necessarily a Punisher burning comp, in my humble opinion.
Very true. Couldn't agree more. Also, burning that Cleansing Flame technically means they have no global now. Alex is the closest to a global they had. There's Cocoon on to Alex, and it's Stukov who's left to deal with it. Zeratul, he's going to double blink out. Alexstrasza, here comes the controlled chaos from Stukov. That allows him to turn it around. Here's the Dragon Queen with the upgrade of Ancient Flame. This is their one chance to try and turn this in their favor with this damage output. New comes out, zone Stukov away, but they're still going to try and make their way forward. Huge damage is coming out. Sylv is the first to fall here, and Mistelin using that Vorpal Blade from Zeratul. They pick up the second kill, and Yavapai, they have their 20s. They win a fight, and Zeratul is denied his port back to base. The core is going to start taking damage soon. Someone has to return and deal with this as Hellstorm is getting zoned away.
Blue Space Hat is going to get back, so they are going to be able to go in. Alexstrasza doing her best to stay alive, but she's surrounded by 3 members of the team. However, Shank is just in there. Hellstorm so very low. Out comes the mech, and now they have to flee for their life. Nice Iron Skin there preventing Andrade from being hit by that gravity lapse. They're just trying to fight each other right now while Leoric clears. Diva's little body has been destroyed, and the Cleansing Flame is back, doing a ton of damage. Trying to attack the skill boss. Is he gonna land behind the fort? Oh my god! The disrespect!
Does he get out though? He's gonna try and pull him, and here comes Echo. He wins this 1v1 unless someone else comes to help, which right now there's no one there. Shank's just gonna retreat. Echo does not win this 1v1. Shank's gonna back up, Andrade's gonna pull back. They get their first Punisher. Zeratul leaves 2 catapults, which is not great. That's actually pretty bad. There's catapults in every lane right now. Zeratul's gonna go back and deal with those. But they get their first Punisher. They're going to move forward, and they're going to start finally taking structures.
Oh, man. Somebody please quit. Just clip that, because what just happened? Like, just... I don't know that Alexstrasza was not only an assassin, but a melee assassin. Dives behind the fort, gets the kill on the Lord Gaiac. This fort, like I said, is just going to take a huge amount of damage. We're on the keep now. We're on the keep now. Okay. I know the difference between my fort and my keep. I was like, wow, that was really, really low there. But Punisher is going to come out. Blessed Shield connects on the 3 members. That keep does go down. Punisher heading for core, but with only 1% health left, not going to last two very long. And now we're going to see the members up. Yavapai
This is
grab this
risky.
really greedy bruiser camp.
This is very
Here
risky.
comes the team. Diva Bomb is there. Out comes the Bloodlust and the Wheeling Arrow. Alexstrasza is in the cocoon. Stukov using his swipes to try and make sure that they're able to get people off the team. Alexstrasza locked in, but here comes that ancient
it's so
flame.
good.
It's doing so much damage.
They murder them. Ancient Flame so good, but Living Bomb pretty good too. Pop's indestructible, but Alexstrasza eats them alive. But they have to do something. Their core is going down. 3 catapults. No one porting. Jinxie, not like this. The catapults. One left. Minions. Minions get it. The minions save the game. Zeratul ported back. They're still alive. Alexstrasza retreats. They could have won the game if it wasn't for the catapults, Jinxie.
Oh my, I'm shaking. Oh, it's a baby diva.
She's
10%
coming. She's on the tombstone. It's time to put him to sleep. She uses the ult. She's going for it. She's going to try it out.
Diva. And away. Lord Cake is also here, but the core has regenerated its shield, and that is basically like a second full health core.
Did they mess up? There's the state. There's the dip buried alive. They trap it. They pop it. Buried alive expires though. Diva is out. She's on the run, but Leoric is chasing down. Cleansing flame diving. They pick up another kill. They're staggering the deaths. This is unbelievable.
Alexstrasza coming down, and she's not here to play. Leoric picks up the kill. Looks like Echo has left the game.
We are not referee. We don't have the ability to pause.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
All
back.
right, went ahead and rejoined. Just a little bit of a boo-boo there. Went ahead and cleaned it up. And these team fights, now that level 20 is online, is going insane for Yavapai. With the 2 stagger deaths, like you said, the teams are able to pick up almost all these camps, but they still have really strong heavy soak to do. And with 10% on the core, this leaves the opportunity for one more fight to just backdoor at any moment. What are they going to do? Are they going to risk the backdoor? Or are they going to go for the shrine when it appears? The decision is going to be so hard for Yavapai.
Yavapai right now have the only job of clearing lanes until they can take a team fight where they don't have to worry about their base. Right now they've done a good job. Top is stabilized because the catapults. Mid, this siege giant camp won't de-push this, but it gives them a little bit of freedom. They're in a situation where they have some freedom to try and take a fight. They've got to be careful of stuff like this, though. Here comes the move forward. This camp being threatened, but not stolen. They don't want to take the risk of fighting before Kael'thas and Diva get there. As the mid camp's taken out, only top lane is a threat now, and they're just going to try and raise the objective first. But like you said, backdoor is an issue, and they are not staggering their ports at all. Here we go. They're moving back. They know a threat is coming. Johanna is going to have to hold this alone.
She has the blind, so maybe they can do it. However, Sylvanas is on the core. Bloodlust comes out. Blessed Shield comes out as well.
The damage from Diva is not, it is good, but not enough. Diva damage is low. Here comes Echo to the other side, trying to dodge it. Core's going down. Jinxie controlled Chaos, though. Controlled Chaos, trying to hold in Flame Strike. 9%, 6%, and 0. And one more fight. Take the play. The lack of port delaying from Revenge of Yavapai comes back to bite them. And one more fight. Take the first game of the series.
What a game, number
Gaming series,
1.
5-minute
7 kills
face
to
check with me, your
16.
host,
We can
Mark
really
Zombie.
see
I am joined
how
today by
the
Andrade.
Yavapai team comp in the late game exploded. And if this is how all 5 games are going to be, if we do go to a 5-game series, I don't know if my heart can handle it, Tetcher.
I don't know either. That was absolutely wild. Let's have a look at the stats quickly before we go too far onwards. Alexstrasza got 3k less damage than Kael'thas. So that's pretty good. Almost 30,000 more than Zeratul in that game. Yeah, showing the power of damage Alexstrasza. It does require you to lose until level 20, but when you hit level 20, the value is insane. And they were able to take the first fights there once they had those Ancient Flames, which of course you can see here with the level 20.
Yeah, it was really solid. I couldn't help but maybe wonder if we had maybe a more aggressive support, like a Rhaegar in exchange for that Stukov, or if we had just another damage dealer, this could have been different. Even like another like thick boy in the front. Like, if we look at Alexstrasza and Stukov's healing, 71 to 89, a 19 or 18k difference. Not a huge amount. So despite the fact that Alex was doing an insane amount of damage, she was also healing like a madman. So
Yeah.
maybe in the future they could refine this comp and come back. And I mean, like Shank B, I hope they just ban the Alex for like the rest of the night, because what a warrior.
I was not expecting any of this. And like you say, the Stukov did seem to struggle a little bit here, and I will once again call out that universal carrier. 40% reduced healing is a problem. It is a massive loss when you're against a Kael'thas Sylvanas combo. And you saw that happen quite a little bit. Alexstrasza was able to get some good chain healing circles, was able to use the Alexstrasza one and then use the Dragon one within quick succession to get maximum healing output. It was very well executed. So that was quite nice to see. And Zeratul, of course, once you hit level 20, Void Slash plus Shadow Mending means you're basically invincible. It really was about being in position to prevent that backdoor.
If they had maybe just ported it. There are a couple of what ifs, and I know we were talking a little bit about the seeding here and what that meant for our teams. I'll tell you what it means. Not a gosh darn thing. These guys are so evenly matched, as we can tell. And another long, drawn-out fighting map we're going to, I can see. So I am very, very excited for what the rest of the series holds.
As am I. We are going to... I mean, they need to change it to actual draft mode. Who picked map? Also set to draft mode. Okay.
All right, not us.
Alrighty, so Yavapai picked the map, which means I can set that up on our lovely display, which means so far we have Yavapai picking 100% of the maps so far. So let's jump over to our map screen and have a look at that so we can tell you exactly where we're heading to. We are heading to Alterac Pass as our second map of the day. Once again, picked by Revenge of Yavapai. This is a best of 5 between these two teams in the grand finals. Winner of this will be the winner of Division E. And it's certainly living up to its moniker as Division Epic.
Can we just like only have Division E and they're all just games like this? Like, I would only cast Division E if every single game guaranteed to be like this Tetcher. Like you said, we're going to be heading down to Alterac Pass, another really long, drawn-out fight map, which, if Yavapai picks a very similar comp to this could turn in their favor, as they do have a little bit more time to try and grab that altar. I believe it starts at 30 seconds, and then through the rest of the game, it ends up being a 50-second channel, so a lot of opportunity for growth during the map.
Like you say, plenty of opportunities. This is also another map where I'm going to argue this isn't a terrible map for Alexstrasza. There's lots of long, drawn-out fights, which means stacking is very easy. And once you hit level 20, it's pretty good. So I'm going to say, we saw it. Hang on. I'm going to try and remember. Oh, I can't do a poll because I'm not the owner of this channel. Oh, no. Is there anyone with the power to...
mod chat, like Murda
Yes.
is here.
Murder, is it possible for you to start a poll on will Alexstrasza get banned? Yes or no? Would put it on 1 minute, and I just want to see the results. So if you could, if that's possible for you to do, and you could throw that in, I'd very much appreciate that.
7-bit outfits. I will play all my games like this if you cast us, Jinxie. Aww.
That does sound really
Aw.
fun.
I
Alrighty.
love lower divisions. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. Seriously, like, I love a good heroic game. Don't get me wrong. We see some really insane plays come out of there, and just the level and talent that comes out of like heroic and Dive games are super incredible. But like the lower divisions are just so fun because we're like, okay, how are they gonna make this Asmodan work? And then it just dunks on people, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's how. Like just kill them, duh.
Just kill him, Fivehead. Alrighty. We are heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Alterac Pass. One more fight. Currently 1-0 up. Revenge of Yavapai. Need to make the comeback. Remember, it's the best of 5. Plenty of space. And it's a dragon ban, but not the expected one.
We're going to see that Deathwing banned away once again. He's just not something anyone wants to deal with. The permanent unstoppable feels bad. And then if you don't draft any kind of percentage damage, then he comes out and you're like, oh, well.
We got a poll. It's on for 1 minute, and the bans have already started, so you guys have a slight advantage here of it maybe popping up. Right now, we're seeing 4 yeses, 1 no, as we see Lucio getting banned out. 5 yeses, 1 no. Let's see if they're right. Again, it could be in round 2 bans. We're about to find out.
You mean round 2, like the 3rd ban?
Yes, the round 2 of bans.
Ah, I see. There we go. 1 to 8 so far, and if they don't, it's a crying shame here. Unless they plan on pick it and make it a galaxy brain play, which I know I've said that phrase like 6 times today. Did we see another ban come out like we did in the first one from Yavapai? They've opted to ban the Lucio this time. Don't want those quick rotations. And we are going to see that Ana taken away. Ana being able to sit back safely in the back on this map can be very frustrating to play against. So I can definitely understand why they want to go ahead and get rid of that.
All right, the poll has ended at 10 to 2 in Will Alex get banned. However, right now we're at our we're at our first picks here, meaning if Yavapai pick it, chat has been outplayed by the banning techniques of one more fight. Kael'thas is going to be prioritized once again, sieging onto a point, and is still a pretty good counter for Alexstrasza if she's played like support. Damage Alexstrasza is a bit more of a different beast.
Thank you for making that poll, Ektar. We appreciate you very much. Now, what can we expect to see here? We see that Kael'thas picked up once again. Do we see a mid retaliation from Revenge of Yavapai? Jaina wouldn't be terrible right here, and it is going to be the Alex.
And we
Alex
get the Rhaegar. Exactly what you called. Rhaegar was stolen away last time, so now they get the Bloodlust Ancient Blessings if they wish to go it. Sorry, yeah, Ancient Flame. That is crazy powerful. This is apparently just a legit pick they do. They have now a much better chance of making it to level 20 due to the wave clear of Rhaegar, giving them a lot more flexibility. But this is a better early game team fight ability once you hit that level 10. They have a much better chance of turning this into a play now. It's going to be even more powerful. But this has allowed one more fight to get exactly what they want. Once again, Sylvanas and Johanna.
Yeah, they're going with the same damage dealers here, and you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They pick up a little bit of a stronger tank here, just as you called. We'll see what Yavapai is going to ban out here. It is going to be a Malfuria. They're looking to just try and decimate this support pool. Maybe trying to force them onto an Anduin?
The Anduin was banned last time by one more fight. Is there a world where Anduin is still picked by Revenge of Yavapai? Not yet, apparently, as we see a focus on a Vikings ban. Now, Vikings would give them a really good way to get to level 20 as fast as possible. That is a really smart ban.
I was going to say, you know, the same world is the one where you have Rhaegar, Alexstrasza, and the Vikings on the same team, but after game number 1, anything is here, and we're gonna see what is happening.
I love it. I love it. Kira hyper melee carry, similar vein to Zeratul, but with more CC, which wombos them with Uther, which results in the Lily being picked up. No Anduin gonna be seen here. No Karazim for insignificant burst styles. They jump to the Lily, which, looking at how the enemy team works, cooldown reductions for Uther, burst damage from Rhaegar, Kira's autos, Alexstrasza's Ancient Flames. That's a pretty dope support pick. If they go for the multi-person blind, that's actually pretty sensible, and that feels weird to say. I don't know. It's just strange. The Decade would have been a sensible choice, pointed out by Not Paradox in chat. The Emerald would have been very solid here. But remember, these teams have played against each other all season. This might be targeting, maybe knowing that perhaps Mystelium doesn't play... Mysteltian, sorry, I cannot pronounce names very well, might not play the Decade Cane. This might be, in fact, a target ban.
They've taken away all the good supports.
And Uther.
Hey! It's running on Uther.
He's a tank.
You know what that means? It's a tank Uther, my absolute favorite thing in the whole world. I love a good tank Uther. I'm excited to see it played here this evening. And one more fight has definitely gone a little bit more standard. I'm not a huge fan of the Tahaka since there are so few bushes on this map. We'll have to see what they can get done with it. But it's certainly much more standard than Yavapai. Once again, pulling out that Dalivant, Alexstrasza, and now the Uther tank here. With ETC still available, Malgana still available, most of the tanks pool still available. But you know, like, that's fine. Uther is the best. We know this.
Tank Uther is legitimately dope. That's why I yelled, "He is a tank," as my response to you there. As we're going to head into the game, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about the draft about the comps as we are in the game. Jinxie, would you like to introduce the team on the left?
I would love to. We've got Lord Geek on the Kael'thas once again. Newton Rocks on that Sylve again. Echo going to be playing that Johanna. Mistantine on that Lily. And up in the top lane, it is Hellstorm on the Dahaka.
And on the right-hand side, RevengeOfYavapai. Megumilk going to be playing in the top lane right now on that Kira, as they are already doing a split. Shank B9 is going to be playing on that Alexstrasza once again. Blue Space Hat on the Reyna, Aura Luna on the Rhaegar, and solo laning Andrade on the Uther.
Go ahead and take a look at these talents here, see what we picked up for Uther. It is going to be that auto attack quest, which makes a lot of sense that they go ahead and drop the Uther in the solo lane. Then who's the tank here? Is it Tank Raynor? Is it Tank Kira?
I don't think they have one.
Rhaegar?
I think Uther is the tank later. Like, obviously, this talent is the tank talent. I just think he's off lane because he has a better chance to auto minions without getting bopped. And I think that's the strategy here. However, the rotation is shutting that down quite a bit. Main healer Kira is stated by Andrade, which is superb.
She does have a heal button on her W. I mean, late game, if you take that quest level 1, which she has, you hit 2 or 3 heroes, you can pretty much just give yourself a free Ancestral.
It's pretty decent. Kira is tuned to, say, the absolute minimum. So we're going to see Lily healing everyone up. She's gone for that level 1 Wind Serpent. Now, there is a talent build of Lily where you can get almost 100% uptime on a single hero if you can stay in range of them and you get hit by something at least once to get the cooldown reduction after your first Q and W. Sorry, W and E. So you can actually get 100% blind time on people. So this is a pretty reasonable start, but it does lower your healing output.
I was going to touch on that, just as you were saying, Tetcher. It's just... Serpent build Lily is excellent. Like, I love it in Brawl. It's so fun to play. However, the healing isn't superb, and that could be a problem here because despite the number of healers, they have an insane amount of lockdown, an insane amount of burst coming out from the Kira and the Raynor. Nice sustain. It's going to be really hard for Lily in a long fight to keep up her mana, as the Serpent build does really drain on your mana bar.
It really does. Andrade is in trouble. He's going to be taken out. Uther, no one even to heal. Not even a minion to heal in his death form. Lily, though, is, by the looks of it, going for this 100% blind stat here with Safety Spring, which also gives her an opportunity to get away from Uther, which is very sensible because that CC is really deadly. But yeah, the fact is the 100% blind build is okay. Obviously, Lightning Serpent build is decent in terms of damage output and actually is a very solid build for Lily and is the preferred build by a lot of people, but as you mentioned, free drinks is so good. It's more burst healing, and there is, at level 20, some reasonable burst from this composition. Going for the build that gives them the most long-term sustain, I saw last game, and I'm wondering if it's the right decision.
The longer these fights go on, the more it swings in Yavapai's favor. You can see Yavapai already heading up, trying to defend their objective there, their cavalrymen. Knowles finally being started by one more fight. I'm just totally losing these teams' names. And it looks like Yavapai is going to go ahead and try and invade onto that cavalry. They do it with rapid succession. And just poor Dahaka, he doesn't really have any kind of long-range interrupt there, so he's just going to have to watch while the team harasses. I mean, it's not like they're going to be able to push him out anytime soon. They've got 3 healers.
However, with Echo arriving, Echo and Hellstorm are able to zone everyone away. Now, Andrade, he does have his Holy Shock, which is going to give him a lot more out-of-fight sustain because he's able to poke away at heroes from a distance. This is actually going to allow him to have a lot more freedom. Now, they move forward. Lots of damage came out onto Shank there, but so many heals from everyone involved means that Shank is doing good. And finally, Shank is where he wants to be. In a team fight, in an objective phase, hovering around an objective, gaining stacks, and that's all he wants. That is an overextension, though, coming in as Rhaegar is taken out. Andrade is dying to the bruises. Uh-oh. He is going to save himself with a self-Q.
It's going to be a really rough fight here for YCMYCAST3 as they lose one member early, which kind of boosted the XP a little bit, and then they go ahead and lose. Rhaegar Alexstrasza is going to be the next to fall here. The cavalry is taken by one more fight, and it's a little bit of an uphill climb now in the first, 7 levels. Triple healer comp does have a lot of value just in the fact that nobody's really got enough damage to push anyone out of lane. But level 7 onwards, the damage dealers scale significantly better in terms of hero damage than Uther, Alexstrasza, Rhaegar.
Absolutely, and we don't even have the damage being made up for it. Obviously, Rhaegar's Bloodlust will make up for the damage a lot, but he could also make up for it with a Lightning Shield build. But he sticks with almost standard, in fact, picking Wolf Run up as the level 1 talent. Which does give you a little bit of burst, so that is still kind of nice to see. But with the Healing Totem, you're not going with any kind of Lightning Shield build, which means less maximum damage output. Curious to see if it works out for them, as we do see a defense coming up. Kira caught out of position. Is she going to be able to escape? Revolving Swing comes out, but Nuterox drags him to his doom. There's the knockup from Kael'thas, and it's not doom at all. Great healing coming out from YCMYCAST3. Megu Milk, though, he stays for one more hit. He still gets out, just dodging around the Flame Strike.
Oh man, I was clenching during that flame strike. We are going to see the Kira Hearth back to base. And she doesn't get it. Almost there. Out comes the Sins Exposed from Johanna, trying to get as much extra damage as they can. But Newton Rock's getting harassed by the tower, stays underneath, does go down. Echo is going to be the next to run under the tower, take a little bit of damage. Do we get to see it go down? The cavalry is low, but there's still a fresh wave of minions. And it looks like the support is going to survive just a little bit. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom, Alex is harassing Hellstorm, and that cavalry not going to do too terribly much damage to that bottom forward.
Mid's also going to be cleaned up. They'll deal with that as best they can. And considering how close they came to Doom on multiple occasions there, RevengeOfYavapai held that really well. They were able to control that. They even took a counter fight. Sylph diving too deep in that fight, got caught out and perished. This is a decent situation. No crowd control wombo combo here. They go for Divine Storm, but they do not go for the stun talents. The Unrelenting Strike's coming in from Kira. They go for Final Strike because, yeah, they need the damage output. They need the finishing potential pre-level 20, so that's very sensible here. Here's Lily now with Jug of 1,000 Cups, and that's going to be a real big saving grace for her team because the only interrupt is Kira and Uther, and Uther is melee.
Lily is able to stay in the back. She should be just fine, like you're saying. And I really like what YCMYCAST3 has done here in this bottom lane. They saw that Uther was really struggling into Dahaka. So they're going to go ahead and drop Alexstrasza there so she can get the resets on her Dragon Queen. But then also the ranged into melee matchup just feels kind of lousy.
Feels bad. And that's how she was able to get it. She might have to drop her ult here if she wants to escape. There's Bless Shield, which is one of the 2 interrupts that could stop her. Yeah, there's too many interrupts here. There's Kael'thas, there's Dahaka. There was too much as she gets picked off. The 5-man gank, in fact, onto bot lane guarantees this fort 2 forts. Well, basically 3. Basically 3 forts down. One more fight, taking a dominant position, and they move down to the bottom lane to start taking a boss. However, we've seen RevengeOfYavapai come back from worse, and most importantly for them, this core regens. There's no chance of a massive backdoor because their core will heal over time on this map.
Have to be really careful on this boss as Alex is back and can just teleport in with her ultimate there. Andrade trying to step up, however, they do get zoned away. They might get picked off here. No, they're able to use the penetrating round and the Uther W there to try and back out. But Andrade gets pulled in, does eventually fall down. However, Uther is the only hero whose healing output goes up when they die, and he's just going to stand. Think about what he did as they push in with this boss. Bosses aren't incredibly strong here. Go ahead.
Hellstorm, I thought Hellstorm was going to drive, but he already used it. My bad. Sorry, continue.
The bosses on this map just aren't as strong as ones on, say, Cursed Hollow or Sky Temple. However, with the black arrows, makes them significantly better. Pushing S5 also helps quite a bit, and now this keep is under some serious fire.
Rainer begins murdering his way through, but he doesn't have Exterminator here. He has gone for Ace in the hole to try and increase their damage output, meaning he actually has less clear onto this boss, so he's going to struggle a little bit. But they are going to be able to burn this, and the keep will live. It's going to be low. Andrade, in fact, is going to proxy minions to give him more space here. But everyone is back. Everyone has their heroics. This is where they can try and take a fight. Echo, though, Johanna with Iron Skin is so much zoning. They have 25 seconds left to try this.
Go ahead and step in. Uther running in, gets a nice Divine Storm. Out comes the Hyperion. However, Uther does immediately fall down. Dragon Queen is dropped, as is Bloodlust, and this is basically a build-your-own Ancient Flame. She takes a ton of damage. She's putting a lot onto Sylvanas and Kayle Foss. They're going out, doing as much as they can. She jumps into the air. Meanwhile, in the back lane, Sylvanas does get picked off. Shaza heads back. The cavalry is picked up. Kira looking for Hellstorm. Echo very, very low, does go down, and that is going to be 2 for 1 going over to Yavapai, even though they did lose that objective.
The objective was taken. No one was able to channel that. Too many delays on the side of One More Fight as they kept heroes. But like you say, several kills going over. That is good for them, picking up the double kill. They finally get some comeback experience, which means they are still equal in terms of levels. They have Rhaegar wave clear, they have Kira wave clear, they have Alexstrasza wave clear. They are in a position where they're going to almost certainly lose this keep, but they're in a position where they can do exactly what they did last game, and with the core able to regen this time, they're in a position where they could actually maybe take this game. They just have to not die before 20. They still have to survive another 6 levels now.
They're going to do their best to try and defend this keep, but the cavalry is going to take it out. Not the worst thing in the world, as it is very difficult to end with the core armor, even if you have 1 keep down. 2 is what you want to try and aim for, because then I believe the core has 10% or 20% armor. Not 100% sure on that. It looks like they might just get it. Uther does go down, but not before getting the Divine Storm off.
Kira just trying to delay them that time. Revolving swing, but doesn't let it activate. Raider gets silenced, but he gets out. Nice little speed boost there. Everyone is going to get away, but that's keep number 2 falling to the ground. Final strike comes out, hits no one. As now Echo's coming in, more harassment, more experience. They're trying to race their way towards level 16 as the race for top lane begins. With Uther dead, man advantage. One more fight. Look for their opportunity to set themselves up to end this game before that win condition of Revenge of Yavapai comes online.
They're able to hold this top keep for the moment. However, Uther is back. They could maybe look to contest the boss that we can see one more fight headed to, but they're going to opt for the Knoll camp instead. So this boss should go over fairly easily to one more fight.
Yeah, boss is being taken. In exchange, we see a Bruiser camp, which will relieve a little bit of pressure, because again, we do have Knolls now in the middle and bottom lanes, which will have to be dealt with. Even staggered Knolls in top lane, but this boss against an already weakened keep. This is a position that they might be in trouble. Andrade can't afford to die early again. He will back up this time. He's gone for Blessed Champion. He's tried to add some more healing to his team, but he's been blown up in these fights very quickly. I think I would have preferred Well Met in this scenario, but he's gone for the extra healing. He wants to try and stay alive and get more stuns, more value here. He's going to tank through the Flame Strike with that extra armor he gets. They clear the minions quick. Now they have to deal with the boss.
Boss is going to come in. Uther does just get devastated there. Still a little bit too far out. Bless Shield coming out onto 3 members. Kira getting hit by that isolation does go down, and we could see game as 2 members are down here. No decisive comebacks just yet. However, this core does pack quite a punch. I don't know. With Raynor, that could be game number 2 going down. Bloodlust and Dragon Queen both popped.
I don't know if they actually hit. Okay, they did have an extra, you can see with the movement speed. But I was worried they didn't hit her. She's going to drop the Cleansing Flame for one last try. But Hellstorm has been so on point, laser targeted with these drags. They pick up the Rhaegar, and with 2 keeps down, 3 keeps down, they pick up the core. And one more fight show they have Revenge of Yavapai's number, and they take game number 2.
Really hard to do damage when you don't have any damage, Tetcher. I'm just going to say that there. It looks like they could potentially stack up to be a comeback, but here we see 11-3 in favor of one more fight. And just, I thought for sure, I was like, the Lily healing isn't going to be enough. They're going to have a ton of healing with the Raynor, Kira, Rhaegar, but Andrade on the Uther just getting caught out so much. I'd like to see them maybe try to go for a flank position maybe, because we saw a lot of times Uther would walk in, then just get kind of dragged and blown up. And that is one of the weaknesses of an Uther tank. You always have to be mounted, and you always have to be looking for the flank.
Absolutely. The Uther was the target. He has no escape mechanism of his own, and as such got called out several times in that game. Not really his fault. It's really due to the insane play of Hellstorm, who was just beautiful in that last game, dominating and able to show that they have the ability to deal with this composition just by picking up the kills one by one. Very nicely done. Again, Alex Darza, top damage on the team, above Reyna, above Kira, showing that there is viability behind that particular pick, but it seems the assistance to it in this case seems to fall a little short. However, as we had calls in the chat here, we had game number 1, 2 healers. Game number 2, 3 healers. Game number 4, the Karazim for extra damage, perhaps? We will have to see.
And we could even, like, one of the things that I think the teams have been lacking a little bit here is potential lockdown from their healer. So we could see a 4-healer team with a Deckard. The stay a while and listen, the scroll of the ceiling. They have some lockdown, and they can go in and get that bloodlust value. I see you, Yavapai. 4 healers, I believe. Get that Deckard in there and do some damage.
Ruby carry Deckard. That's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, that too.
Alrighty, well. Game number 2 goes over to, once again, one more fight. You can see their talents here, Sin's Exposed and Holy Renewal. Johanna, knowing she'll be fighting from range quite a lot. Galefass, same build again, was able to get good Flame Strike. Sylv, again, we didn't talk about it enough in game number 1. The Wailing Arrows in these games have been absolutely insane.
I mean, not a whole lot more to say than that. You raise an excellent point of just... It feels bad, because there were a couple of times Yavapai had a really, really solid engage, and they would go in, but they weren't able to jump on top of that Sylvanas, and then she would get those 4- and 5-man Wailing Arrows off, like you were saying, Tetcher, and there isn't a whole lot that Yavapai can do, especially with 3 healers. When 2 or 3 of your buttons are focused around keeping your team up, then all you've got are, some Uther autos, and those don't do a whole lot.
They do not. They get your cooldown reduction up, but yeah, not going to be this case. How many healers will we have? The vote 50% for 4 is going to be the winning vote here for how many chat believes we're going to be seeing. Alrighty, we have our players in. I'm going to let them know. Casters ready. And ladies and gentlemen, this could be the final game. I'm once again going to show you the bracket while we wait for this. Also, they need to change the game mode to be the correct game mode, because right now we're in standard again.
One thing that I mean, the chat can't see it because they don't see the kind of behind the scenes stuff, but I've just been pointed out by One More Fight, is that between every single game, and I've just noticed it now, Yavapai has changed their portrait, and I think that's absolutely charming. They all still synergize, but every time it's different. They said, I love how you change your portrait. They said, it's essential. You gotta, like...
Makes it a little confusing. There we go. We're in draft mode. We good. we got it.
I don't have to make the lobby, so it's not my problem.
Agree. They're being very helpful by actually letting us make the lobby, so I do appreciate it. But yeah, okay. So right now, it's showing that we have map pick again for Yavapai. I don't know if that's just not updated yet, but I'll show it and I'll change it if it's wrong. As we are heading for our 3rd game, Cursed Hollow. Once again, picked by Revenge of Yavapai, unless that just hasn't been updated yet. But this is where they're choosing to take it to what could be the final map. This is where they're putting all their hopes.
This could be the reverse sweep. I believe in Yavapai to pick a little bit more of a standard draft. Cursed Hollow, another big map where Alex Straza is fantastic on. You can soak really, really well, and then, come into those closed corner spaces, they might have a little bit of a better time there. However, I think it is about high time that we start picking or taking away some of those picks from One More Fight. Get rid of the KT, get rid of the Sylv. I mean, they've been doing some work in these games.
They seem to have their preferences, but we have been seeing a pretty consistent set of bans from Yavapai, and I don't know if that's just because they're trying to support choke. Because if they have been support choking, it's working. We saw a Lily last game. The problem is, it's everything else that's killing them. So as such, I agree. I wouldn't mind seeing them switch up their bans a little bit more and target what we have been seeing One More Fight succeed with as we head into game number 3. One More Fight, first pick, first ban, given to them for the 3rd time in a row from Revenge of Yavapai. If One More Fight win, they win Division E. If Revenge of Yavapai win, they can begin the reverse sweep. As, well, we're sticking with consistency. Deathwing is banned.
Do we see the Lucio ban here once again, or one of the heroes from the first game? 'Cause I don't think supports were banned in the first game from
They banned
Yavapai, if I remember
Ana.
correctly. They did ban the Ana. Okay, Ana is really strong here. Maybe we see, I don't know, the ETC again. The Johanna are really solid bans here. It is gonna finally be Sylvanas. Do not want to deal with it.
Alrighty, we in. They're actually trying to ban out what has been killing them. One More Fight. It's been working, so they're just going to continue their bans as normal. They ban away the Zool. Now Yavapai, Johanna, Kael'thas. What do they think is a bigger threat? Or are they still scared of Ana or something like that?
We do have some stats coming in from Ektar. In regular season, Yavapai played 24 games. In those games, they played a total of 30 healers plus a tank Uther game.
Wow.
So, double support is pretty standard for them. We are going to see that ETC ban away, so maybe we'll get to see the Johanna pick up from Yavapai. Else it could be picked up here by One More Fight. And, I mean, Alexstrasza is a man assassin. I've seen it both games. I believe. I'm okay if they have a double support, but then just maybe, you know, become a little bit more standard, a little bit less with the cheeky plays here.
Gonna see Kael'thas coming in for One More Fight. They're sticking to their guns right now. Maybe Revenge Yavapai want to steal away the Johanna. They don't. It's time to dunk as Asmodan comes out, and that is Shank's hero unless they're ready to swap. So right now, it looks like Alexstrasza may finally be benched.
Asmodan is another hero who stacks very well late game, and if we see another squishy team coming out from One More Fight, they could be in a little bit of trouble because, you know, come level 13, level 16, Asmodan hurts, and if you're a little baby who's got 3 health points and he takes away 2 of them, it's really hard to fight. It's really hard to go to an objective. And he does it, you know, from his own core, which just feels awful. You're clearing some minions, and then all of a sudden comes the dunk, and you're like, well, I guess I hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how enthusiastic you are about mana, if you don't have that off cooldown, you get chonked as we see D.Va banned away. The respect from game number 1 from Yavapai here. And One More Fight. Their final ban of the game. They have basically everything they want. Right now, the Stukov, even though I don't think it was impactful as I think they would have hoped game number 1, I think would be a really sensible ban here, because Stukov and Decade, really hard counter Bloodlust compositions, so could be a solid ban here.
I could definitely see the Stukov. It's going to be the Vikings
Smart.
once again. This is telling me there is a Viking player who has whipped it out on the side of Yavapai. They don't want to deal with that because, let's be real. I mean, anytime I know somebody's a Vikings player, I'm just like, nope, get out of here. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Couldn't agree more. You don't want it to be picked up. Yes, it's potential stacks for Asmodan, but no, it is not worth it. As Tyrael comes in, the lowest ratio we've seen on supports, but there it is! It's Juice Pirates, baby! As we see Morales Tyrael coming in here. There's no Greymane in this game. Asmodan is a weird Juice Pirate selection if this is actually the plan, but this might not be Juice Pirates, but there's potential for it to be. If so, they've definitely shown their hand, because you can Demonic Invasion for really good push potential if you do land Asmo next to stuff.
It could also be an Asmodan to just soak some up to lanes really quickly. I do believe those generals in hell do soak lanes.
If they
and
kill
then
stuff,
they can
they
just
do.
get them to 10. Okay. But, One More Fight. I don't know, Tats. We've got the Stab Daddy coming out, and
Pretty tease.
he makes things really difficult.
Well, they now have to deal with Stab Daddy. They have to deal with Falstad Gust. Nope, it's Juice Pirates. They go for the race. We see Artanis coming in here. But look at what one more fight have to deal with this. They have Gust for when the Sank ends. They have Stab Daddy for when the Sank ends. They have Bloodlust. They have Flame Strike to just drop directly under the Sanctification. They have a lot of tools to deal with this. I wouldn't have minded like a Zeratul maybe in this draft, but obviously we don't know if they play it. Zeratul's a very good counter to the to Juice Pirates, but this is a Juice Pirates game. That is what Yavapai are putting their hopes in this series on, unless it's the Bamboozle and we're about to see Stim Drone Artanis, Stim Drone Asmodan, Stim Drone Raider, for example.
We'll definitely have to see. I'm surprised by a couple of picks here. Like chat mentioned, we didn't pick the Rhaegar in the 1-2 when we chose the Rainer over the maybe like the Greymane, who is the more standard racer. Why they were going to choose Pirates, they didn't go to Sky Temple. Couple of questions that I hope to get answered here in the game.
There's one reason I can think of why they picked the Rainer, and we'll jump to that in a moment as we are seeing in, and also it's not a good reason. As we do jump in, ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side, 2-0 up right now. It is one more fight, looking for one more game. Hellstorm on the Falstad, Newton Rocks on the Imperius, Misteltian is playing the Rhaegar, Echo on the Johanna, and we see Lord Gaiak on the Kael'thas.
And over on the right-hand side, we're going to see Andrade going middle by themselves on that Tyrael. Shank going to be that Asmodan. Blue Space Hat will be your Rainer. Mega Milk on that Artanis. And then Aura Luna will be your Morales.
Okay, despite being in different lanes, they still group up to the exact same place, just trying to bait us here. Oh, is this scouted? What is happening? What is going on? They're just
Are
going
they
straight
coming
for
behind?
Keep. They are! They're going behind Kael'thas. They're rushing the fort, ignoring the tower. Double spear comes out. They are slamming good and proper. Asmodan's taking the fort pressure to a -20 armor. He's gonna die. Shield comes out from the Tyrael. The fort's getting low, though, making the most of the amateur opponent, but that's dead. Guys, you have to make it to level 10 for Juice Pirates to work. Artanis goes down. And yeah, level 2 is achieved by one more fight. And yeah, it's gonna in bot lane now.
Yeah, the whole team is dominated in the first 50 seconds of the game. Not something you see every single day. And now we're going to see a little bit of the reverse coming out here by one more fight, who are going to try and do it the more sensible way with the minions. Grab that first gate down here and the towers, and with the minions here, they're gonna go ahead and snipe the well, maybe look to try and grab the fort, and they're back!
They're back! Megamouse is gonna come in from the side wall, which means he's taking tower damage. Andrade is dying, Hellstorm rolls away. Here comes the entire team. They're just gonna kill him again. Flame Strike lads. Blue Space Hat is completely trapped. He's got nowhere to go. He's gonna die. Aura might live.
She needs to get to Asmodan so she can heal them, so she can heal herself, but they're actually just going to give up, turn themselves onto Rainer, and Aura Luna makes it out alive.
Yeah, Morales lives, but that's the important bit. They now have the fort, which means now they can actually play the game. Megamel's going to head up to top lane. Oh no, he's just going to head straight for camps. They're just going to try and get mercenaries, wait for the objective. They don't actually care about the objective. Right now, their objective is to soak experience to level 10, because that's all they need to do. Also, it's been so go at this point. Rip bot 4, by the way. Tyrael cannot hold this. New Rocks, though, dies to the fort. Andrade putting on the pressure. Oh, wow, they're actually holding this. Nicely done, as level 4 is hit. But yes, the Raider talent, because I talked about this at the start, and just so much has been happening. Raider does have an Inspire talent at level 13 that means he buffs his teammates' attack speed. That's the only reason I can think this is viable. Speaking of things that aren't viable, shield battery against a Kael'thas for Artanis. This won't help. It won't save you. It's not going to give enough protection against the burst for him to live long enough.
Watching these games, I'm just kind of wondering, like, am I a bad player? Like, is this like the Korea meta that could have been? If HGC hadn't gone the way of the dinosaur. It looks like we are going to see both teams actually surprisingly caught up in XP here. We get the Giants picked up. We're going to see a fight here in the middle. Andrade just gets exploded by the KT damage. Johanna having to pop that Iron Skin.
No! Oh! The concussion mine! He gets him out. The concussive grenade comes out. Aura Luna looking to save Shaq. Where's the heals? There it is. Shaq's on the run. He gets out. The concussion mine to remove the body blocking ability of Mistral, and he saves Shaq. That was clutch.
I wish you guys could see my face right now because like the past 4.5 minutes have just been like surprise Pikachu.
I've been smiling throughout these games non-stop, dude. It's insane.
I know, my face hurts so bad. First tribute was picked up by the side of One More Fight. We're going to go ahead and looks like they're going to head to their bruiser camp right now. Yavapai just lying in wait. They are level 7. They've been really good about soaking these lanes really well these games. And despite the fact that they had 2 basically full team wipes, they are ahead in soak here for the moment. Level 10 is going to be the way.
Yeah, to expand on that, how have they pulled that off? How are they currently in a situation where it's 8 kills to 1, 1 fort to 1, and they still have an experience lead until right now? This game's busted, dude. I love Heroes.
But like all 3 games, they've lost pretty early and on in the early game, and I'm like, how's this gonna happen? Tyrael goes down in the mid despite all the Morales healing, gonna jump onto that camp. But I'm like, wow, they're losing pretty hard. And then I look and it's like 12-13 or like 9-10. And I'm like, what? How are they doing this? Shank by themselves does not have a fort here. Is gonna do the crab scuttle. Unfortunately, does go down to that Rhaegar bite.
Yeah, right. Honestly, there's one thing I want to say that's potentially just going to blow all my analysis of this game right over. I don't think One More Fight has done enough in their split pushing. They're finally going to make their way in bot lane, but I think they're way too late on this. The way you beat Juice Pirates is to kill them until the spawn time is high enough, or to counter push and set yourself up for that. Right now, they've only just started on this tier 2 wall. This should hopefully be dead by the 8-minute mark so that you have that opportunity to D-push, or before your opponents hit level 10, so you have that D-push potential so that you can actually take fights. But right now, I don't know if they're doing this fast enough.
Other option they have to expand a little bit more on your point, Tetcher, is they could hearth cancel, but that makes for very frustrating gameplay because when you're hearth canceling, there's not a whole lot that you can get done. And I mean, it will have to be from Falstad, which means you lose a lot of that global potential. We do see the curse, however, coming out for One More Fight. They managed to pick off the Morales. Out comes the Blessed Shield and the Bloodlust. Out those forts, able to push. This keep should be going down here, and Yavapai still do not have their level 10. So
this is so smart from One More Fight. Burning the Bloodlust not for a team fight, but for the fort, because they want to take down that keep so they can set up a win condition. And in fact, they're just going for it, and they're going for the race, and we need to see the port out. Nope. Nope. Okay, well, that's GG. They're not going to be able to defend this core. Core's going to die, and they're going to lose the game. GG. Also didn't have Tyrael behind. Feels bad. Keep versus core.
Go on the keep, but that's going to be game number 3 in 6.5 minutes, going over to One More Fight, who takes the 3-0, and they are your Division E champions.
Wow. Nicely done. So, yes. I want to talk about that because I sounded a bit negative. So the idea there is what was so clever from One More Fight is they burned Bloodlust to take down the keep so that if their opponents held them at core, they then had an end condition so that they could defend the Juice Pirates one time and then they run to end and then they win the game with, by that point, Bloodlust back up. But it seems in this case that we did see Yavapai choose to not take that fight, choose to let the core go down, and that is going to be, like you say, game number 3. Going over to One More Fight, who take the 3-0 in the Division E Championship here in NGS.
I'm honestly so baffled at what they thought they could accomplish there. They had the curse. The minions have 1 hit point. Like, I can understand the whole Juice Pirates thing, and that's what your team comp is set to do. But I mean, even if they took the keep there, like, you won the battle, but you lost the war, fellas.
Seems so. Well, we can have a look at the talents for what they're worth. I do like the fact that we had Secret Weapon because it's faster in terms of base killing than Boomerang, so that was kind of cool to see. And yeah, otherwise they just went for everything that was race potential to try and counteract, which is exactly what they should do. We saw the Demonic Invasion, which was smart, but yeah, they just didn't make the play there.
I'm going to turn this a little bit more to focus on one more fight because they are our champions. And even though Yavapai did some kind of silly things that a lot of us really don't understand, I see the question marks coming out in chat. Just really, really solid all-around play from one more fight. I think Hellstorm on Falstad was so smart. He was able to fly in and prevent that early fort from going down, getting them that early advantage. They positioned around the tribute really, really well. And I really have to give it to the teams because when you see a weird draft come out, like every single Yavapai draft, it can be kind of frustrating to not understand what your enemy is going to do and what you have to do to work around it. And they figured out in all 3 games what the idea was behind Yavapai and just played around it so beautifully. They said, you know what? They're doing some funky things with 3 supports, but we're just going to focus on us. And it really paid dividends for them because now they're the champions, and they did an amazing job. One more fight. I hope you guys are so proud of yourselves.
They should be proud of themselves. They held off what were some very unconventional drafts that a lot of people would struggle with because no one's used to playing them. You don't get practice against playing stuff like that. And they played their game, and they played it beautifully. So good job. One more fight. And also, we have an interview. We're going to jump into lobby 1 to do that interview, just to let you know, Jinxie. So I'm going to turn off your camera so Discord doesn't get weird, and I will see you there. Alrighty, so gonna jump in for that interview.
There he is.
And hello.
How are you feeling after your dominant 3-0 victory? You guys are the Division E champions.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
He's speechless.
Yeah, he said Hellstorm was doing the interview, and I haven't seen Hellstorm yet, so I'm not entirely sure what is going on. I think we're in the wrong room. Let's jump into lobby 1, and we'll wait for Hellstorm, because I was told he's doing the interview.
Okay.
Alrighty, and there's Hellstorm! Hooray! There it is. We figured it out.
I was waiting to see you pop up somewhere.
We got it. Alrighty. Hello, Hellstorm. For starters, sorry for being in the wrong room. But for second, congratulations on your Division E championship. How do you feel?
Very happy. Very happy. We made it. Got a little nervous on the Juice Pirate strategy, but we won before level 10, so...
Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
if you want to talk about game number 1, so you guys have played against Yavapai, I believe, twice now. Were you expecting
the third time today?
Yeah. Were you expecting the double support draft to come out? Is it something that they do often?
Yes, our little spy had checked, and she was like, they play a lot of double support, which is not faring pretty well in general against macro composition, which we excel at, so we were not too scared about that. The second came with the 3 support surprised us a little more.
So let's start with game number 1 and talking about that. You guys had basically full control over the game most of the time, but you did fall a little bit behind in experience throughout the game. I'm wondering if that was calculated to control the pushing value to try and win that way, or whether that was literally just being out-soaked.
Well, it's a little bit of both in the sense that we were mostly focusing on the push. So yes, it was on purpose that we did that, but we were trying to not get out-soaked at the same time, and we didn't manage to succeed on that front. So we'll go with we were getting out soaked a little bit, but we were considering that it was not a problem because we were pushing, but we did not particularly like that.
Alrighty, and
That
now
makes
to
sense.
there was a point in the game. For starters, you said you played against the double sport. Were you aware of how explosive that Axtraser gets at level 20? Because once level 20 hit, there were some fights that didn't go your guys' way.
Yeah, it did hurt a bit, and well, the objective I was hoping for, we were thinking they would have picked a Greymane at the last pick or something like that, like something really blow up. I think they went for Zeratul, which is still a little less damage. So I was hoping to neutralize the damage of someone who jumps with Diva. But as you said, since the damage did not came from that, but came from the level 20, we wanted to end before the Steam got reversed, for sure.
Definitely makes sense. I have a question about game number 2. If you're all done with game number 1, Tetcher.
That's fine with me to move on.
Alrighty, so game number 2, you guys spent a lot of time prioritizing the Uther. Was that just due to the fact that he was one of the least mobile champions on the team? Was it just somebody you caught out? Talk me through those Uther deaths.
Well, there was a little bit of he was their front lane, so it's easier to hit him. And since they were all support, we were not trying to out damage the back lane more than anything because, well, they had 3 healers, so we were like, okay, let's just push, make XP, make benefit elsewhere. And because I was like, if they have a way to kill us, it's because it starts with a Uther stun. Followed by who else did they have that had another lockdown? Kira. So it's like they're gonna Uther stun, Kira spin, and then like burst everything on whoever got caught. So it's like we need to avoid getting behind Uther so he cannot stun us, which made us play, let's say, a bit differently than if we tried to dive the back lane. And because of that, well, we're always targeting Uther, which was in front.
Right.
And even if they add tree support, I believe it's pretty mana heavy. So it was like in the long run, they're still eventually going to run out.
So, like you said, you were caught a little bit off guard by it. And for starters, I just want to say, massively good job on that Dahaka to pick those kills.
Thank you.
With that on that Uther. But let's talk about roles here, because in game number 2 you did play that Dahaka, in game number 3 you played the Falstad. Now, is this due to hero preferences with Imperius or Falstad or Dahaka in general, or is this a general role swap that your team has?
Well, the thing is, everyone on my team changed a bit because we lost 1 player. Usually my main hero is Tracer, and I play mostly mage on our team. But with the roster that we ended the season with, well, we already had a mage, which was Kaltest that you saw. So I was, well, first it was my role that he took. And second, I was the most flexible on the team. So for both the finals and the semifinals, I've been off laning instead of maging. So it's new, but it's a swap that we did because of, well, the roster that we had.
So if you're playing off lane, then what was the argument on you playing Falstad in the 3rd game? Was that literally just because you had the global and could off lane? You just needed more burst from Imperius?
Actually, as I said, my main character is Tracer. I have her level 200 and something, and I'm pretty good with her. So I wanted to make a Tracer play and like have fun and be really mean to them. But then we saw the Juice Pirates, so we panicked and we were like, I cannot take Tracer because we're going to get wrecked. So I went into Falstad, which I do not play.
Ah, okay.
So I
You
was
could
like,
have
okay,
fooled
let's...
me.
Agreed, definitely so. You could have fooled us.
Did what? Oh, well, I mean, I've played it a few games in the past. Not my first game, of course, but it's really not on my main roster. But we needed well, we didn't since the game ended before, but we needed the gust to stop the Juice Pirate.
Alrighty. So now, and this is more of a call, a big ups in general to Yavapai. chat in general were calling throughout after game number 1 and 2 that you guys should probably ban Alex. Did that ever cross your mind?
No.
Okay. What are your opinions on the assassin Alex, even though it was like top damage in most of the games?
Even if it does a lot of damage, it's not really bursty. It's not really finishy. It didn't scare us, I guess. So we didn't really, well, we didn't fear it. And we tend to go with, don't fix what ain't broken. Like, we know one of them played Zul a lot, and we don't know if he's good with it. And I'm like, well, we're winning. Let's not find out if he's good with Zul.
It's a fair response, very fair response. Like, you guys had very consistent bans, and I'm going to assume because you said you had a lot of scouting on this, that these were all very premeditated.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have wrecked us with the Alexstrasza assassin, like you said, then we'd have changed strategies. But I mean, when winning, there's no need to, like, if they want to do the same thing again, we're going to win again the same way. So
Makes sense.
let's make them change and try something else.
Alrighty, Jinxie.
So that's pretty much all I have about games 2 and 3. One thing that I was telling the chat that I wanted to tell you, so you can take it back to your team, is I really want to just say well done to you guys, because these drafts coming out were just like never in 100 years, if you'd asked me to predict what these drafts were going to be, what I say, 3 supports game 2, and then a Juice Pirates with no Greymane, and an Asmodan, game 3. So I just wanted to say, like, big ups to you guys for understanding these wonky drafts, even though you guys drafted kind of meta, and figuring a way out around that, because it can be really frustrating when the team has a plan that you can't figure out. You guys were just so clean, so calculated, and most of those games were just really, really like we've got this easy, and maybe one hero would fall here or there, but you guys did such a good job taking care of each other, and so for that, I really wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you very much. It's appreciated. We try very hard. Let's hope we make it to a area league next time and still do well.
Oh, you are aiming for the next division up?
Oh, yeah. We hope, at least. I mean, we've been winning every matchup except one, I think. We lost to We the Papagas once. So this season, so we were feeling pretty confident in this league. So we're hoping we can make our way up and try harder challengers.
Alrighty, well, you heard the man. Hashtag free one more fight on in the Discord. But I believe that's it from us. So I have to ask you, the floor is yours. Congratulations on winning Division E for NGS. What would you like to say to everyone who is watching today?
Would like to say thank you for coming to watch the game. Thank you for supporting NGS and One More Fight every time you guys came to watch a cast. If some people on my teams are watching, I want to say hello to you too. Even I know probably some people on the team that we fought last time. What's their name again? Because I have friends in that team. Yeah, the baddest dudes. We have friends in them. So hello to you if you're in chat. And thank you, everyone.
Alrighty, well, in that case, we will let you go and wrap up the shows. But again, congratulations to One More Fight for being our NGS Division E champions.
Thank you.
Great job, you guys.
Alrighty. Jinxie, I will call you back.
Alrighty.
And call the Jinxie. And there she is. So I can jump back to the webcam view. So, that is going to be it for our broadcast. We had one series for today. Thank you from me, Tetcher, for tuning in and watching. It's the first stream we've done on the NGS channel. It was a lot of fun to do. That was an absolute blast of a series, Jinxie, who thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a blast to cast with you. And big shouts to NGS. This is so much fun. I mean, it's really given me a sense of purpose since I've been kind of, just like sitting at home, literally learning to knit
Knitting's fun. Knitting's good though. It's a hobby
It
that you
is
literally get
good.
something out of at the end.
Not if you're me.
Oh dear. Alrighty,
That's
but yeah,
amazing.
that's us for. Well, you showed that, and that was just eaten by the green screen, so no idea what
Oh.
that is.
It was my knitting. It's green. I should have known.
You are all good, but yeah. Thank you everybody who's been watching. I'm hoping one of the mods will be able to raid us when we head offline onto someone else. But for now, Jinxie, where can people find you? We have a lower third to see where people can find you on Twitter, but where else can people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Jinxeekatt, spelled just like it is on screen. Oh, I just saw myself with the knitting. Oops. Twitch.tv/Jinxeekatt, like I said, just about where it's on screen. We're starting up a WoW run very, very soon in the next day or two. We do cast a lot of Heroes of the Storm. So if you like what we're doing here today, go ahead and check me out. And what about you, Tetcher? This isn't your normal channel.
This isn't my normal channel. You can find me on Tetcher on literally everything. /Tetcher on YouTube, /Tetcher on Twitch, /Tetcher on Twitter. Tetchagram on Instagram, which I don't post on. I should get better at that. But yeah, find me on all those things, including tomorrow at 3:30 AM British time, which is now, actually. So, like, in 7 minutes' time from now, tomorrow, I will be casting more Nexus Gaming Series. I believe I'll be doing the Division D playoffs. I don't have it open right now, but I'm trying to find out, because I'm going to find out then apparently as well, because I don't remember. But I do have a game scheduled for then, so that should be fun. For now, though, from me and Jinxie, thank you very much for watching the Nexus Gaming Series channel. Keep an eye and follow this channel so you see when more of these player finals go live, as I believe almost all of them are hosted here. But everybody, thank you for watching, and Jinxie, any final words?
Support NGS and support your local casting scene. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good evening.
To expand on that, check out the Storm League donations on Matcherino so that you can support Nexus Gaming Series directly. I don't know if there's a command for that in chat, but make sure you check it out so that you can donate to the next level of Heroes of the Storm in the US of A. So make sure you check that out. You can check out NGS on Twitter or Jinxie on Twitter. She posted it recently as well. And have a good time. Support some top
mess.
You can support some top level heroes, but yes, once again everybody, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to NGS with Twitch Prime. Have a good night everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.